The Winnipeg Blue Bombers are headed to the 110th Grey Cup. What's going on, everybody? Welcome inside Game Day After Dark. Your Winnipeg Blue Bombers did it, and maybe it didn't go down the way it was looking like it was going to go down in the early going, but they are going to a fourth straight Grey Cup in 1 week's time in Hamilton, and they will face the Montreal Alouettes, who shocked the CFL and shocked the Toronto Argonauts with a 38-17 victory. We'll talk about that, get an early look at the matchup of the 110th Grey Cup. And, well, of course, we've got video highlights. I'll play Zach Collaros' interview from TSN post-game tonight. Really great comments from the Blue Bombers quarterback. And then, of course, remember this. You want to know what's going on at the Grey Cup? Keep it locked right here to Bonfire Sports. We will have daily content all through Grey Cup week. I will be there in person and pregame, postgame, every game, as we always do. Zach Schnitzer will join me. Your best friend, Chris Walby, will join me, and so many others from across the league, as this will be my 8th straight Grey Cup. And really looking forward to running into some old friends and getting their perspective on Bombers and Alouettes, and to see if the Blue Bombers can win 3 cups in 4 appearances in 4 straight seasons. Absolutely outstanding. Winnipeg winning the division back to back to back to back. It's only ever been done 3 times before. It was the Edmonton football team in the late 70s and early 80s, often quarterbacked by Warren Moon. It was the Hamilton Tiger Cats in the 1960s, and the Regina Roughriders way back in the 1920s and 1930s. Big hat tip to Jamie Nye of the Green Zone for that stat. And Zach Collaros, he will be the only quarterback to quarterback 4 straight Grey Cup games. Outstanding. Brady Oliveira, Willie Jefferson, and Jackson Jeffcoat. We're going to talk about all of those guys. Tons of playmakers tonight. We'll have Walby's Warrior, Westwood's Wide to the Right, hand out our game balls as Zach Schnitzer will join me in just a couple minutes. And, well, of course, we are going to have our happy honker and all those fun things that we do. But great to see you out there on Bonfire Sports. Bonfire Starters, you got it lit all season long, and it's 1 week to go. So keep that fire stoked. Keep in the comments. Keep liking the videos. Keep sharing them with your friends. You are what make Bonfire Sports happen. Just pulling up the comments here, and great to see everybody. Like, hundreds already watching. Awesome. Dale and Bruce, Phyllis and Corey, great to see you guys. Baby Yoda and Turk and Jay Miller, all those OGs. Tao Zen joining us from overseas and parts unknown. Kim Sawchuk, great to see you. Yeah, we're still waiting, but worth the wait as the Bombers capture a really impressive victory at home, 24-13. We'll take a look at the stats, but first things first, I really want to get to this. Great comments from Winnipeg Blue Bombers quarterback, Zach Collaros. And yeah, here we go. I got it right here for you guys. Let's jump into it. Talking to TSN's Claire Hanna.
We got to win the last one. We got to win the last one. Montreal's a great football.
I hope we didn't lose Zach. Did we lose the audio on Zach?
Can't say, I'm just so happy right now. I'm so happy for the guys. Brady was unbelievable all night. Offensive line was all night. This dude didn't practice one time. He called me this morning like, I'm going, baby. Let's go. Let's go.
Zach, I know you're all about talking about everybody on this team, but you're going to probably be the first quarterback to
Well, I hope we can get that audio straightened out because Zach Collaros' comments on TSN, I do apologize for that, guys. Make sure we'll get that straightened out. But how about we take a look at the stats? And really, I've got some notes I want to get to as well, as it was, first of all, absolutely lit inside the Madhouse on Matheson tonight. And I think that crowd noise played a very, very significant role in Winnipeg's success. Here's a look at some of the stats. Vernon Adams Jr., 13 of 26 for 221 yards, 1 touchdown, 3 picks, including one to Evan Holm to seal the game. Vernon Adams threw for 413 and put together 5 touchdowns last week. 3 on the ground, 2 in the air. Tonight, he just was not as effective. An important note, top Lions receiver Keon Hatcher got injured early in the game. So too did TJ Lee, their boundary halfback. Really, if who's TJ Lee? Well, he's Dietrich Nichols, essentially, for the BC Lions. He is that good and was a CFL All-Star once again this year. Winnipeg had 10 sacks of Vernon Adams. Meanwhile, Zach Collaros didn't have to do too much. He was 14 to 21 passing, as you see there, 158 yards through the air. No touchdowns, no interceptions, but he moved the football. 3 second down conversions to Kenny Lawler, as you see right there, and 4 more to Dembski, Oliveira, Brendan O'Leary Orange, and Drew Wolotarski. But it was Brady Oliveira who, look, 100-yard rushing game, the West Division MOP, rightfully so, no surprise. There's a reason why he's the MOP candidate, and I sure hope he captures the league honors this Thursday night at the CFL Awards in Niagara Falls, Ontario, because he is the most outstanding player in the CFL in 2023. The opening drive, 10 plays, 9 times it went to Brady Oliveira on those 10 plays in the opening drive, and he had 70 yards. But he finished the game with 109. Where did Brady Oliveira go in the second half? Schnitzy and I will talk about that, but 5 runs of 10 plus yards for Brady Oliveira, if you can see on your screen right there. Unbelievable the way he was. Kenny Lawler was also an absolute beast tonight. 6 catches on 8 targets for 83 yards. And I mentioned those 3 second down conversions. Unbelievable. The way he was able to kind of ensure the Winnipeg Blue Bombers offense did not fall off or go a little bit flat without Dalton Schoen in the lineup. Dembski was dang good. Rashid Bailey, I know he was making his presence felt on a lot of those runs. The Winnipeg Blue Bombers found a way to get it done. And sometimes you rely on your 2-time reigning MOP quarterback. Other times you rely on your offensive line, your systems, and potentially the MOP this season in Brady Oliveira. Let's bring in the man. Zach Schnitzer joining us on the program. How are you, Schnitzy? How was the game? I'm sure you're feeling good after a huge Bombers victory. Punch their ticket to the Grey Cup.
Meh.
Oh,
just kidding, not meh. That's, you remember last year we beat BC 28-20 in the West Final, and you asked me how I was doing, and I was like, meh. And then I talked to you later. I was like, sorry, DB. Like, why was I so lackadaisical there? Like, we're going to the Grey Cup. We're going again, baby.
Yep.
4 times in a row. It's crazy. 4 times in a row.
Tell us about the crowd, because you were one of 33,000 plus that were there. I don't know if it was a sellout. I didn't catch that, but there was a huge presence, the energy, the volume, and really the home field advantage that Winnipeg took advantage of, because they're very, very hard to beat at IG Field.
The crowd was insane, buddy. It was insane. There was a guy who was like in the next section over 129 who was literally standing on his chair the entire game. And he was just yelling and screaming, and then he turned around and he was trying to get the crowd going. Like, the only thing that I was disappointed in is like the crowd wasn't standing the whole time, because I was so amped, buddy, that I just wanted to stand the whole game.
Yeah.
But I couldn't do that, because then the lady behind me was like, "Excuse me, can you sit down?" I was just like up there with my cowbell, like going
Hey,
nuts.
man, all bets are off when
Hurts.
it's playoff football, right?
Yeah, the mitts are up. You know, it was 33,324, so it was a sellout.
Yep.
A fifth straight sellout.
Outstanding. Yeah.
Like, just I don't know if the West Final last year sold out. I don't remember, but it was cold last year. This was like this was
Beautiful.
pretty temperate. So it wasn't that cold. You didn't have to put on 50 layers.
And if I can quash something out there, because a lot of people are saying, well, the BC Lions were practicing indoors when they could have practiced outdoors, and they were going to be a soft dome team and that sort of thing. The reason the BC Lions practiced indoors was so they could pump in crowd noise and be prepared for silent communication, because that would have, obviously that was going to be an important part of this game. But it didn't matter, Zach. The Blue Bombers defense was dominant. Willie Jefferson, who we know led the league in knockdowns this season, he had a knockdown on BC's first drive. He had a knockdown on BC's second possession. A whole bunch of Bombers had picks. Even more of them had sacks. 10 sacks tonight for the Blue Bombers defense. 3 interceptions. Even seeing Adam Bighill go down to injury, non-contact injury. We obviously hope for the best for one of the greatest to ever play in the CFL, Adam Bighill, and one of the greatest guys, period, on and off the field. We'll talk more about that later. But even when he was out and you saw Brian Cole step in and Malik Clements step in, and, the importance of Kyrie Wilson, who the Bombers were without for a lot of last season, how important he is in getting a pick tonight. Winnipeg's defense was ferocious on the front end, the back end, and in the middle.
Yeah, and I got to just interject. My poppy fell off at the stadium. That's why I'm not wearing one.
I have a second one. I lost one, and I asked, I asked this nice lady who was in her service uniform, her Canadian Forces service uniform, and I'm like, "Do you know where I can get a poppy?" And she said, "Oh, I got one for you. Come here." So I went into this back room with her, kind of near the press box, and she took it off her other jacket. I'm like, "Are you sure?" She's like, "Oh yeah, I got a pocket full of them." Okay. So she gives me her poppy and she's like, "I want to get a picture." So I got her to come into the press box. She's like, "You sure I can come in?" "Oh yeah, it's good." Stood her there. She's like, "Give me lots of the background." I took her picture. I'm like, "Have a great day. Thank you so much. And thank you, for doing what you do."
Yeah,
and then
absolutely.
15 minutes later, she's singing "Oh Canada." I'm like, "Oh my God."
Oh, you're kidding.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Oh, that's
it was pretty cool.
Man.
So that's the only reason I got mine, because I lost mine too. They're tricky.
Yeah, they fall out, right? And my wife's uncle Lloyd, may he rest in peace, or as we say, Jews say, Oliver Sholem. He flew a Lancaster bomber in World War II. So I always think of him on Remembrance Day. He lived well into his 90s, and Uncle Lloydie, thinking of you wherever you are. But yeah, that crowd, buddy, was just incredible. Like cowbells, like I've never heard. My ears are still ringing. High five. When you're a fan in the stands and things go well, you get a sack, you get an interception, you get a touchdown, big first down. Like you high five your pals in your section. Like people were leaning over, like 6 people down to high five me. It was just, and
Really?
Daryl Brandel and his wife Roxanne were there, all the way from North Battleford, Saskatchewan. Like they flew here from Saskatoon. People drive in from Thunder Bay and Fort Capel, Saskatchewan. Like
it was
just
a special event, very
awesome,
special event,
awesome, huge.
And the
event,
Bombers
so.
delivered for them, as they're going back to the Grey Cup, and they'll face the Montreal Alouettes.
Yeah, the Montreal Alouettes.
Shocked the Argos. Chad Kelly and the Argos offense marched the field on their first possession. And they're like, "Here we go.
Yeah,
here we go."
Exactly.
They're going to do what they do. And Marc-Antoine Duquois, the Canadian and all-star safety in the CFL this season, East Division and the CFL, pick 6 to the house, the hair flowing. Really impressive. 9 takeaways, including how many interceptions did Chad Kelly throw? He threw 4
3 or
picks
4.
and
4
9
picks.
total turnovers for the Argos. They won the turnover battle 9-1. The Bombers won the turnover battle tonight against the BC Lions 4-0. And now we'll see these two teams face off against each other in the 110th Grey Cup. Montreal's defense is legit. And I think tonight was a perfect display, Zach, of what is a hard to accept reality for a lot of people. You have to you take everything off the table when it comes to playoff football, especially in the CFL. That's why it's so rare the Bombers have won 4 straight division championships and going to 4 straight Grey Cups, and why Zach Collaros is the first quarterback to ever, potentially do it if he starts on Sunday, November 19th. You never know what's going to happen. And the Alouettes, they got a really good defense. Doesn't really matter what they did in the regular season. Sure, they beat up on the weak teams and they struggled against Winnipeg and Toronto and BC. Well, they're 1 win away from winning a Grey Cup, and they haven't been there in 12 years.
Yeah, 2010, I think the last one they won. They beat Saskatchewan for the 2nd year in a row.
Right.
Last time they were in a Grey Cup, 13 years ago. And I was just shocked by Montreal and what they did. But they don't beat themselves. They play solid fundamental football. They're not flashy on offense. They have a lot of a short passing game, high percentage stuff. Like Cody Fajardo was the most accurate quarterback in the CFL, I believe. Didn't have a ton of stats. I think he had 14 touchdowns and 12 picks. But they're efficient on offense. Their defense lights it up. And they just don't make big mistakes. Now, they also hadn't beaten BC Lions, Winnipeg Blue Bombers, or Argos. They were 11-0 versus teams below them, but 0-5 or 6 against teams above them. And they took it to Toronto. Yeah. But for me, Darrin, I felt like once Montreal made it to the Grey Cup today, I was like, this West Final is the Grey Cup in some ways. Montreal, I think, is very beatable, much more beatable than Toronto. I'm not saying we're going to beat them. It's a game. Montreal's a good team. Their defense can take a game over, as you saw.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, BC is a better team than Montreal, and we beat them. And I think the Grey Cup is ours to lose. I'm much more confident, at least early on, much more confident in our chances against Montreal than Toronto.
I think Winnipeg is opened as 5.5-point favorites, maybe 6.5.
Already?
Sure.
God, those degenerate gamblers. They're already.
Right? As soon as SIA.com/bonfire if you want to put a sprinkle on it. But I just wanted to mention this. Jagger says, only 3 straight division titles. They didn't win it in 2019. They did. They won the West Final. That's the division championship. Just like you win a division title, it's you win the pennant in MLB when
I was just gonna say the pennant.
Go to the World Series, right? So absolutely, the Bombers are division champs and have been now 4 straight seasons. Can you imagine what we could be talking about today, Zach, if there wasn't a canceled season in 2020?
Oh my God, I know.
Man.
Right? They had all the momentum that season. They probably would have made the Grey Cup again.
Yep. Absolutely. I know my audio has been a little bit screwed up today, but I did want to draw attention to a couple huge plays in this game. Now, Winnipeg had a healthy 18-3 lead in the first half, and on the final play, a Hail Mary that bounces off the hands of Dominique Grimes and lands in Johnny on the Spot's arms. It was Justin McInnes. Here's the Hail Mary that brought BC to within just 8 points when they looked to be down and out early.
Hail Mary with a trailer. McInnes is the trailer. The first 2 in Hollins and Dominic Grimes are looking to make the tip. They just want to keep the ball alive with all those defenders back there. And the trailer and McInnes, number 18, is waiting for the tip. And he reacts with the left hand.
Somebody maybe should have been.
Wow. His long is 51, and if you miss, like Glenn mentioned, could be trouble.
That
Adams
trailer
will roll
that
out to his right, looking down the field. He's going to heave one up.
It's hard to place any blame because that is just that's a pick 'em play. You know what I mean?
Hail Mary in
Like, what are you supposed to do?
Oh, that pick just crushed me inside, buddy. Because we 18-3, they BC had done nothing on offense. Brady Oliveira in that first half was just dominating,
He was.
dominating the Lions. They had no business getting to 10 points.
Yeah.
And he catches it on a tip drill, and it just sucked so bad. And then you're just sitting with that in your gut all halftime. I certainly wasn't listening to the band, I'll tell you that. That's
Yeah.
all I'm gonna say about the band. They were a little
Lots
off
of people. Yeah. Lots of people in the live chat. Like, we're approaching 500 comments already, and we've,
Wow.
doing the show for about 20 minutes. Great to see everybody in there. Lots talking about Noel Thorpe and the Montreal Alouettes defense. They really, really came on in the second half of the season. Noel Thorpe is a very good DC, to the point of David Ice, who commented there. How about this? Snack Bites Pete. What's going on, Snack Bites? I picked Montreal for the upset on my podcast. I have proof. Wow. Okay.
All right.
I wonder if you're going to pick Montreal for a second straight upset when they face Winnipeg next Sunday. I'm kind of with Friesen. Can you wait a minute? Did I just say that? I'm with Ryan Friesen.
Yeah.
Montreal is good, but Winnipeg is better. You're right, Friesen. You're right. Hate to say
He's
it.
right, Friesen. And he's also saying here in one of his comments, Collaros is the first QB in CFL history to make 4 straight Grey Cups.
That's right.
Even Warren Moon didn't do that. Is that true?
That is true. Bo Levi Mitchell had 3. Warren Moon had 3. But Zach Collaros, yeah, he'll be the first to start in 4 straight.
But didn't Edmonton win 5 in a row?
They did.
Or was Warren Moon not part of all 5?
He was not part of all 5.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then you can think about the Kenny Payne era, right? Where Winnipeg won 4 in, what was
5
it? 4
years.
in 4 and 5 years, right? Losing to the Ticats in one of them. Kenny Payne did not start the first 2, I think.
I think Jim Van Pelt.
There you go.
JVP.
Yep.
If he played now, Jim Van Pelt would be JVP.
Yeah.
Not back in the day.
Speaking of quarterbacks, here's what's crazy, because I'm just pulling up some of the comments here about Bo Levi Mitchell and about Chad Kelly and TSN and how they've really highlighted him. The MOP voting between Brady Oliveira and Chad Kelly has already transpired. Our ballots were due last week. So
we were wondering about that on the car ride. Will this affect that?
So though that winner has been determined already. I'm sure there's probably like a group of 3 people that know who has won. And the trophy engraver is one of them. So the playoffs should not go into the effect there, but Chad Kelly had a forgettable game. One that, unfortunately for Chad Kelly and the Argos, nobody will forget. It was pretty surprising. It's pretty surprising. But the reality is now Winnipeg, I think, needs to really focus on remaining focused, and they can't worry about their opponent. They need to just game plan for Montreal. I think Winnipeg's defense is going to perform better than Montreal's defense, even if Montreal's defense is a quote unquote better defense statistically with takeaways and the rest. And the reason I say Winnipeg's defense will outperform Montreal's defense, or at least that's what I project in the 110th Grey Cup, is because Montreal's offense is a little bit less dynamic than a lot of other teams. And I think that starts with the offensive line. We know what Winnipeg did to BC's offensive line tonight. We know what Winnipeg's defense has done to offensive lines really across the league this season. Jackson Jeffcoat was a beast tonight. Mentioned Willie Jefferson. Guys stepping up that maybe you didn't expect to. And Malik Clements getting a sack, and Reda Cramdy. Man, that guy's a baller. I can't wait to talk to him in Hamilton this week. I want to know more about his story and share that all with you here on Bonfire Sports. But Winnipeg's defense if they play a good game, they don't have to play a great game. If they play a good game next Sunday in Hamilton, I think they will be dominant against the Montreal Alouettes. Even if Jason Moss has Cody Fajardo playing good football right now.
I think Fajardo is playing good football, but that's pretty much his ceiling, right? Like he's going to throw at best maybe a couple 100 yards, maybe run for a couple first downs. But he's not breaking the game wide open. William Stanback is not breaking the game wide open. I think he used to be a home run hitter, but I think he's not anymore. And so I agree with you. And I think tonight the story was Winnipeg's defense. They sacked Vernon Adams 10, like you said, 10 times. I counted up 9, but 10, I'll take 10.
Yeah.
Like, and it was guys racking up all across the Bomber defense. Greta Cramdy, Jackson Jeffcoat, Willie Jefferson, Ricky Walker, I believe, had one. Everyone was in on it. He's a very elusive quarterback, and actually he would escape the first 2 guys, but then Vernon Adams was getting punished by the 3rd and 4th guys, and the Bombers did a great job of controlling the rush, not over pursue the rusher, the quarterback, and then he can step up in the pocket. And escape the clutches of the defense. But I just thought their rushes were not only timely, but they were controlled so that Vernon Adams wasn't able to escape the pocket and either run for or just pass off off a scramble drill.
Sorry for cutting you off there, Schnitzy. Cramdy with a sack. Brian Cole, who stepped in and played a lot of middle linebacker when Adam Bighill went down in the game. Kyrie Wilson with a sack and an interception. Evan Holm with that pick that wrapped things up. Can you imagine the West Final ending on a pick 6? It nearly did. Clements with 2 sacks. Willie Jefferson with 2 sacks. Jackson Jeffcoat with 2 sacks. Deuce is wild in the Blue Bombers defense tonight. Don't ask me why Zach Collaros is in the defensive stats here. What is this? He's got a fumble recovery. So he is in the defensive stats. I do not understand that. I do not understand that. But I guess Zach Collaros has a defensive play to his resume tonight. But here's the thing, Schnitzy. Where is it here? Here we go. This right here, play of the game.
Even worse for the Lions here.
Yeah.
Wickoff can't get it away. That's going to be scooped up by the Winnipeg defense. Trying to push it down towards the end zone.
Nick Hallett got it done. The Canadian backup safety, special teams ace, and really kind of do it all utility tool with a block. He got there so clean. As we'll watch this, I'll let this clip play through and it'll repeat itself. He got there so clean, Schnitzy, that he blocked it with his leg because his body was already there. And here's the thing. He scoops it and he's like, oh, there's nobody on me. He's running. Look at that. There's like 6 Bombers.
And the backup safety.
And if you watch, the reason they video reviewed it, I mean, every screenplay is under review, okay, subject to review. But it's right there, you see his knee potentially going down. And watching it live, I thought it did go down. There's Nick Hallett's knee. Right there. And believe me, that's the turf. That's not a shadow. Well, there is a shadow there, but that's the turf. It's going down, and he's still short of the goal line. And we'll see where he's down. I don't think he's in. They reviewed it. Now, we do know that the review needs to be clear and evident for them to change a ruling on the field. It was ruled a touchdown, so it remained a touchdown, and that gave Winnipeg a 21 is that right? 21-3 lead? No, 15-3 lead midway through about midway through the second quarter. Huge play.
Nick, I mean, he's the one that, not to bring up last year's Grey Cup, but he's the one that blocked the field goal, isn't he? In last year's Grey Cup against Toronto.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you're right. Yep.
Um, just incredible. And I thought they were reviewing it because they were wondering if we'd rough the kicker.
He did block the kick. As long as you block the kick, you can have subsequent contact with the kicker. You can't contact the kicker first and then block the
Right.
kick. You got to get all ball, and he did get all ball. So
Yeah, I couldn't see it. Like I thought maybe he had hit the kicker before the hey Steve, before he hit the kicker before he hit the ball because he was in there so quickly. But
yeah,
yeah, okay. So they were just reviewing to see whether he actually got into the end zone.
yeah. OMG, DB agreed with Friesen. Yeah, I did. And then T Will. Then you know you're wrong. Yeah, maybe. I think that's pretty funny. We like having fun with Ryan Friesen.
We love Freezy.
Yeah, and
Freezy.
Friesen sent us a super chat. We appreciate you, Freezy.
Yeah.
What do they say? We jab you because we love you. Yeah.
Speaking of super chat, I thought you were going to fork me though over those hundreds of dollars, and I
Well,
got nothing.
I had to pay for my flights to Hamilton.
Yeah. Thank goodness for the super
I
chat.
can't
That's why
believe you
you're going
brought
to the
that up,
Grey
man.
Cup.
You know I'm gonna send it to you.
Yeah,
Jeez.
you say that.
Oh, I
And,
say I do. Yeah, I
you
know.
know, my municipal taxes are due, or hydro bills due.
Your
Like
municipal taxes are due. They're due in June. What are you talking about?
just seeing if you're paying attention.
Oh
We're on the
yeah,
tips
okay.
program. We're
Okay.
good. We're
Yeah,
good.
yeah, yeah. No, no. I'm not letting you get away with that, Schnitzy. We're gonna get into Walby's Warrior, Westwood's wide to the right, the Happy Honker, our game balls. What's the one I always forget?
Bonfire Burning Point.
Gosh, it's almost like, it's my channel. I can't remember the Bonfire Burning Point.
Yeah, seriously, dude. It's the one that has your name in it. Bonfire. Come on.
Yeah, well, not my name, but yeah, I hear you.
We should call it the Bonfire. Bonfire Burning
Yeah,
Point.
everyone will remember that. Well, who was your Walby Warrior tonight? Hit the
You
live
know
chat,
what?
everybody. I want to know who you got for Walby's Warrior.
He only had one tackle, but my Walby's Warrior has got to be Adam Bighill.
Oh yeah, there you go. I think we should talk about Adam Bighill.
This is a heart and soul guy. This is a Hall of Fame guy, maybe even a Ring of Honor guy, and that might be it for Biggie. That might be it for Biggie as a Blue Bomber, as a player.
So
To
for
blow
those
to
that,
blow his Achilles, I think, is what
well,
happened.
that's
I don't know. I
speculation.
don't want to speculate, but it looked like it. And he slammed his fist on the turf. He knew it was bad.
So
He could
he
not walk
did get
off.
up and he did attempt to leave the field under his own power, and he was
Yeah.
kind of just like walking on his heel. And the way he was walking, I'm kind of with you if I had to speculate, and I'm not going to be definitive in any way, shape, or form. Okay. This is a pure, fluffy, inconsequential guess by me. But if I had to, I would say it's something incredibly serious like that. And I'd be very, very surprised if Adam Bighill is going to be able to play in the Grey Cup. And you mentioned heart and soul. I mean, I don't think there's better words to describe the young man. Adam Bighill is the coach of this football team inside the locker room. He is the leader, truly, inside the locker room. Heart and soul, top to bottom, till the end. And just I wouldn't put it past Biggie to rehab this and get back on the field next year. But you just hate to see something like that, a non-contact injury in such a huge game and a huge moment in his career and his team's situation, for that to happen. You just hope for the best for him and his family.
I do too. Yeah, I don't want to speculate, but just the way he went down, the way he was gingerly walking off, like I like what Jagger's saying here. Like incredible that he walked off under his own power.
He
I thought the
tried to,
same
and then he
thing. He
needed the help.
tried to,
Yeah.
and then he needed a bit of help. And I just think it's a season ender, and it could be a career ender. And
I hope not.
I
I
hope
don't
that's not
even.
the way it ends.
Yeah.
I hope that's not the way it ends for Adam Bighill, but just a true warrior. The way he trains, the way he maintains his body, he does everything he can, and it was tragic to see that happen. Really sad, and he's a warrior. And if anybody, any 35, 30, I don't know how old he is, 34, 35. If any 34 or 35-year-old starting middle linebacker can rehab from an Achilles injury or some catastrophic injury, it's Adam Bighill, and he'll do it. But I don't know. Maybe he goes into coaching. I don't know. Bruce Martell saying win the cup for Biggie. Exactly. Win the cup for Biggie.
Yeah.
Because he would win it for you if the shoe was on the other foot.
Yeah. And Adam Bighill will be there. He will be there. He will be with his teammates. He will be in the locker room and in the hotel and in the meetings and everything. Um, I don't think, um, I don't think, he'll be made available, um, to speak. It's just not what the Blue Bombers do. But if there was an exception for anybody, I think it may be Adam Bighill. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Yeah.
Yeah, that's my
Uh,
wall. Who's your Walby's warrior, buddy?
well, you had a great choice there. Really great choice. Um, I will give my Walby's warrior tonight to, I want to give it to a group of guys that nobody really talks about anymore, which is strange to me. And that's the Blue Bombers offensive line. When Kolinkowski's hand was, buggered up, Tuieli stepped in seamlessly. The way that, they used Tuieli and Liam Dobson, excuse me, as, in tight end sets and that sort of stuff. That group is so dang good. The reason Brady Oliveira is the MOP is because of that O line. The reason Zach Collaros led the league in touchdown passes is because of that O line. The reason Winnipeg's offense is as good as it is that O line. They did a great job tonight. That's my Walby Warrior. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, the O-line had a great game. I don't think Collaros was sacked even once, was he? Maybe once.
Yeah, good question. I'll pull that up. Do you have a Westwood wide to the right tonight? A moment that maybe you didn't like or grinded your gears a bit?
Oh, I hate to say it, but not Collaros. Castillo doinking a field goal try off the iron from 34 yards out. We can't have that, Castillo. If this Grey Cup is a tight game, we can't give up 3 points like that, Castillo. I know he missed a long one. I think it was in the high 40s. It was a bit short and to the right, but
Mhm.
yeah, no more doinking it from 34 yards. Anywhere from 15 to 40, 45 yards should be automatic for Castillo, and I don't think the wind took it or anything. I think it was just he doinked it.
Yeah, the miss from 46 was like a low driver, right?
Yeah,
I don't think he got a good piece of it. Cold weather changes the physical makeup of the football, the temperature of the air, both inside the ball and outside the ball, the effect the cold and moisture in the cold can have on the surface of the football and whether it's soft or hard or brittle, that sort of thing. So that 46 yarder did result in a single to make Winnipeg, give Winnipeg an 8-3 lead. And then, yeah, the doinka a little bit later was a tough one. Somebody in the live chat mentioned, yeah, John Elliott mentioned this earlier. I saved it for this moment. Any concern with Sergio Castillo? I'll say
I
it.
don't know.
I'll say it.
What do you think?
I don't have any concern about Sergio Castillo. I have none.
No,
Uh, the last time Sergio Castillo played in a Grey Cup in Hamilton,
right?
he should have won MVP of that game. He should
Yeah, he
have
should have.
won Grey Cup MVP. He was 5 for 5 in swirling wins.
Yeah,
It was incredible how good he was. Um, Sergio has a bad game and Winnipeg still wins by 11. It's a good game to have a quote unquote bad game. I think Sergio
Yeah.
Castillo is going to be just fine.
His kickoffs, though, did you notice his kickoffs were really short?
Might have
Was
been by
that
design.
by design?
Maybe. I noticed they stopped using Terry Williams and they started using Lucky Whitehead. I think they use somebody else as well. Yeah. But yeah. Oh, I want to congratulate Caitlin Albel for winning the tickets to the West Final. She is
Oh,
a
nice.
school teacher. Yeah, middle school teacher. And she said, I could really, use a getaway. And I said, you got it. And she had tickets and took them and was presumably at the game today. But congratulations to Caitlin, and great to have all of you out there watching and listening and supporting. I sure hope we can do more giveaways like that. But I think that's a 4 times now we've given away tickets to the Bombers here on the show, which is pretty cool. So big thanks to Lucas at the CFL for hooking us up
Sweet.
with those two. My Westwood wide to the right tonight. Oh, let's go with I don't know if I got one. I think everything was great. I honestly think
Maybe
everything
what
was
about
great.
the Hail Mary? The Hail Mary changed completely changed the
It's
complexion of the game.
fluky. It's fluky. I mean, sure. I guess I'm just very optimistic right now because Winnipeg's going to the Cup again. Bonfire Sports is going to be there. It was an entertaining game. I thought the weather cooperated so well. We got an upset in the East. There's intrigue going into the Grey Cup. Yeah, everybody wanted a rematch between the Bombers and the Argos and Andrew Harris and, Chad Kelly versus Brady Oliveira off the field at the awards and then on the field a couple nights later at the Grey Cup game and all of that. A 1 point difference between last year and this year, different kicker when a kick was blocked and another was missed in the Grey Cup last year. All of that. I think, Cody Fajardo and Jason Moss and that Noel Thorpe defense with Tyrese Beverett and so many of those incredible playmakers. There's some Sean Lemon,
right?
Man, comeback player of the year. I don't even know if we can call him comeback. I think it's just cool story of the year. Sean Lemon cut by the BC Lions so they could sign Jonathan Kongbo. And then they trade Kongbo to Hamilton. He didn't do much there. And there was Sean
what
Lemon.
happened to Kongbo in Hamilton?
Yeah, nothing. Yeah. Just reading some of the comments here. Great to see everybody so engaged. Canucks God. There you go. 10 sacks. Craziness. How about this? Westwood wide to the right. I'll give it to BC's offensive system because Jordan Maximic, I mentioned on the pregame show, Schnitzy, if there was an award for coordinator of the year, I would have given it to Jordan Maximic because he did it last year with Nathan Rourke. He did it this year with Vernon Adams Jr., did it with not much of a run game, did it with kind of a not a very good offensive line, at least. Like there's some talent there. Don't get me wrong. Michael Couture and, Suk Chung, to name the ones that Bombers fans are familiar with, like Michael Couture, heck of a football player. They've got some guys, but as a group, I don't think they are amongst those best units in the league. And Jordan Maximic has done some great things there, and turning Vernon Adams Jr. into the player he is today, or at least getting the most out of him. Very impressive. But tonight, they weren't very good. And Winnipeg's defense and Richie Hall just dominated that defensive front, dominated with his defensive front. So I guess that's my Westwood wide to the right. You want to get into the Bonfire Burning Point?
Yeah, let's do the Burning Point, baby.
Yeah, I like
do
this.
You want to get it started?
Let's go DB and Superman Schnitz. Oh, you got a new
Superman
nickname.
Schnitz.
You got a new nickname. Thanks, Alana. I appreciate that.
If Superman was 5'6 3/4, maybe.
He is. His name's Schnitz.
Hey, I got my knee surgery. I could jump up and down and cheer now and do my stair climb with no problem whatsoever. No problem whatsoever. I am a Superman.
I want to try this again. because it didn't work before. But oh, did I lose it? I think I might have lost it. I want to play this post-game interview with Zach Collaros and Claire Hanna before we get into our bonfire burning point. So here's the Bombers quarterback following the victory tonight.
You said how proud you are just to do this for the fans, but now you are heading to your 4th Grey Cup. What does that mean to this team?
Just, we got to win the last one. Montreal's a great football team, unbelievable defense. So it's going to be a challenge, but we'll enjoy this one tonight, man. I'm so proud of everybody. Defense was unbelievable all night. I think they only gave up 3 points minus the Hail Mary. Special teams, Hallett with the return and the block in the return. Man, I just can't say. I'm just so happy right now. I'm so happy for the guys. Brady was unbelievable all night. Offensive line was all night. This dude didn't practice one time. He called me this morning like, I'm going, baby. Let's go. Let's go.
Zach, I know you're all about talking about everybody on this team, but you're going to probably be the first quarterback to ever start in 4 straight Grey Cups. Thinking ahead to that game, what does that mean to you?
This team's awesome. This province is awesome. This city's awesome, and we're fired up. We're going to celebrate.
You said how proud you are just to do this for the fans, but now.
So there he is, a very, very elated and fired up quarterback of your West Division champion Winnipeg Blue Bombers, Zach Collaros, saying, this city is awesome, this province is awesome, these fans are awesome. That's pretty great.
I love it. And he was so genuinely excited for his teammates, Nick Hallett, Nick Dembski. He didn't have much of it. He didn't have to do too much in this game. He didn't have much of a game. He had a few good throws, but this was a game about the defense and about running the ball. And I just love that he genuinely is so happy for his guys. This wasn't that Zach Collaros had to beat BC game. I just love it. I love the genuine love for each other that they have, and you see it right there. He's just so jacked. It's like a kid in a candy store.
I wish I could pull up Waka Waka's comment here. I won't, but I echo that sentiment. Winnipeg is a blanking amazing place to live. It really is. So the bonfire burning point for me, I'm with Waiters. I'll pull his comment up here. The Hallett block changed, for me, it changed the dynamic of the game. Winnipeg was in control at that point, but when Hallett did that and then scored, it was look out. It was look out. So, that's my bonfire burning point. And before you give your bonfire burning point, how about this? Sasha.
No way.
Thank
Sasha
you.
again.
Thank you. I sent your birthday drinks to Big Bluto. Chris Walby thanks you. Donation towards Bonfire Hats Project. Get on it, DB. Well, Sasha, gosh,
you have no excuse.
You're gonna get a hat. You're gonna get a hat. I'll get them made up. The thing that's in the way of the bonfire hats is I can get some made, but I can't ship them. And I don't have like the capacity as a like covering the Bombers and covering the Jets and like to have 100 hats delivered to my house and then, ship them to everybody. So I'm trying to find a place online that kind of does it all for you. But I also don't want them to be crummy hats because I don't know about you, Schnitzy. I hate crappy hats. I want a hat that feels good to wear, that looks good, that's quality, and that's not overpriced. So working on it.
I believe in you. It'll happen one day.
Thanks, Sasha.
I may not have any hair left by that time, but it'll happen one
goodness.
day.
Yeah.
Your excuses, I'm working for the Jets. I'm doing Sea Bears. Come on, Darrin. You only have like 5 different jobs. Come on.
Yeah, well, and as Bruce Martell mentions here, I'm the 3rd and final owner for Ruby, the pup.
Yeah.
The Bonfire
Congratulations,
pup.
Mazel tov.
Thank you.
As we like
thank
to
you.
say.
We thank you very much. She's a very happy girl. Very happy girl. I think I spent 45 minutes.
Pictures.
I spent 45 minutes this morning, and she was so good. She just sat on my lap and she let me comb and kind of scrape out and separate all the matted hair in her tail. I gave her a good brush when I first got her. I gave her another brush, I think last night or the night before. But she had these kind of clumps in her tail, and I got them all out, and she was so good. She just sat there. She doesn't like the eardrops. She's got a little bit of an ear thing going on. But she's a good girl. So, she'll be with, Nanny and Papa. She'll be with Nanny and Papa for Grey Cup week. So Ruby will be in good hands. And, if you guys are just joining, I missed you earlier. Bonfire Sports, we're going to be at the Grey Cup. So keep it locked to the YouTube channel, YouTube Shorts. You can find them on youtube.com/Bonfire Sports. You find them on our page. We'll do feature shows. Schnitzy, I know you start your new job this coming week, right?
Yes, sir.
But
Tuesday, baby.
Congratulations. I am going to track you down and get you on the show. I'm going to get Walby on the show a couple times for sure. We're going to do pregame. We're going to do postgame. We're going to keep you sober on Grey Cup Sunday, Schnitzy. Even if it's a victory, we're going to say, take it easy on the Cristal. And we'll get a game day after dark going, but I'm going to have stuff all week long and bring in our good friends, Naylor and Lalji. I'm going to, whoever I can track down, in Toronto. I got a lot of connections across the country.
I'm excited.
So looking forward to that. And like the Alouettes are playing the Bombers. It's going to be crazy.
It's awesome. I think it's a really great story. These teams have never met, Darrin, in the Grey Cup. In the 110 years of the Grey Cup, they've never met.
That's right.
They've never met. So, we've never beaten the Argos in the Grey Cup, so I was happy we don't have to play them. But we also have never beaten the Alouettes in a Grey Cup because we've never played them.
It almost makes you want to...
Exciting.
Almost makes you want to give it a Happy Honker Award for a huge upset in the East Division. And to your point, never met before. I think the Alouettes and the Bombers through the decades, look, when I was a kid growing up and the Alouettes returned to the CFL, and then I was, a little bit older, a young adult, and, having fun with my friends and going to Canada Inns, the old Winnipeg Stadium, and taking in games, something about the Alouettes, I'd rather be a Bomber than a blanking Alouette, like that chant. That's my youth, man. To see these two teams meet in a Grey Cup is going to be special. That's my happy honker tonight.
Yeah, I love your happy honker.
Excuse me?
I knew you were going to do that. Your beard's looking sharp too. Did you trim it down a little bit, DB?
I went and saw our good friend at Saint Scott Famous Ramus, who takes very, very good care of me. Go check them out. You can find them, Saint, SAINT, on Waterfront. Outstanding crew there. Go check them out. We might be doing some things in the future together with Bonfire Sports, but he's got me. I went in there and I said, hey, it's Grey Cup in about a week. Give me the wedding cut, I want to look good tomorrow haircut.
Right.
And he did a good job for what I have left up here. It's still there. It's just it's still there.
Yeah, you got it. You're like me. It's receding slowly.
Yeah.
Eventually it'll be gone, but it's receding slowly. Give it a few years.
I'll take the receded hairline with wisdom and perspective over a full head of hair and youthful naivete.
Well,
what did you think about Brady? What's that?
Nothing. Go ahead.
What did you think about Brady Oliveira? 14 touches in the first half and then less than 10 in the second. Why do you think
they shut him down? And I want to give kudos to BC's front seven because they shut him down in the second half. And I thought that, they were stacking the box. I thought they'd be man-on-man coverage in the back end and that the Bombers could exploit that and start throwing the ball. But we didn't really get a whole lot going through the air either in the second half. The offense was pretty stagnant. Couldn't even punch it in from the 3-yard line, which kind of sucked. But I thought BC keyed in on him and made adjustments. And in the second half, they were able to stuff him. I thought Josh Woods played I think he had 11 tackles, and he's their backup. He's something.
Well, he
I
wouldn't
think
be a
if he's
backup
not,
on a lot of teams, though. That's the reality.
he wouldn't be a backup.
Wouldn't be a backup on a lot of teams.
No,
Yeah.
no. I think he'll either. I don't think BC's gonna get rid of Ben Hladek. He had over 100 tackles, but
No, and he's a Canadian too, right?
he's a Canadian. I don't know where Josh Woods ends up, but he's a special player.
Brady Oliveira trying to pick his way down towards the end zone and push towards the end zone. What an effort from Winnipeg trying to get him home. And
Got it.
New touchdown Bombers. An all-time effort. And they find the end zone for the first time tonight.
The way BC couldn't do a thing about this.
That was a run. Back to Oliveira. Brady Oliveira trying to pick his way down towards the end zone and push towards the end zone. What an effort from Winnipeg trying to get him home.
Ran and do.
Got it. New touchdown Bombers. An all-time effort. And they find the end zone for the first time tonight.
For Winnipeg's first score on their first drive. That was Brady Oliveira's 9th touch. Winnipeg's 10th
Big boys are road grading up
8
front.
runs, 1 catch.
Oliveira on
and then an
that second
incompletion
audible
to Kenny
from
Lawler.
Zach
Was that
Collaros at the
10-play,
line of
70-yard
scrimmage,
drive that
calling
went from Winnipeg's 40.
the second basically
All the way
a draw,
to the
delayed
house.
run play, but look at the push and the shoving and the grinding to
the way
get
they
into
were
that
able
end
to
zone, that
just be
final
that dominant at the point of attack early. But very strange how, to your point, I think BC did focus on that, but that's never stopped Winnipeg before. They've run it when other teams knew they were running it. I mean, when Winnipeg was at like the 50-yard line, when they had 50 yards to go, you could see BC's defense and kind of like if this is the line of scrimmage, they were in like a halo around the box.
Yeah.
Like everyone was just hanging around there because they're like, we got to play the run first. Didn't matter. So I wonder if Brady was maybe feeling a little bit sore. He finished the game. He ran the ball right to the end. So, assuming he is okay, and I'm sure everybody hopes so.
How good is Dustin Nielsen though, eh? Like
Yeah,
you're a play-by-play guy. You must appreciate good
I'm
play-by-play.
no play-by-play like him.
Like he's phenomenal. I love listening to him call games.
Yeah. Do you got a happy honker?
What? Happy honker? Well, I have a happy honker. One of our faithful listeners came through again. First, she made us these amazing tumblers, Darrin.
Yes.
As I've shown Sandy. And I have yours here because she gave it to me to give to you. She made us these custom-made Bonfire midweek mouse pads.
No way.
Unbelievable.
Cool. Here, I'm going to pull you up like this. Look at that.
Sandy Thompson comes through again.
Thank you, Sandy.
Sweet Bonfire midweek mouse pads. They'll come in handy this week, especially if we do a little show or something.
What a sweetheart.
She said, I don't think you use a mouse pad, but I'll give you this mouse pad. I do use a mouse pad, Sandy.
Me too.
And it just got replaced with this Bonfire midweek mouse pad. So I'm going to give Darrin his when I see him next. And just
Thank
super
you.
sweet of you, Sandy. And
just for you, Sandy, here it is.
Yes, just for you, Sandy. You and Allison in section 125, I got a bit of a hug there, and nice to see you guys. And thank you so much, Sandy. That was super sweet.
Super, super sweet. And a lot of people showing the love tonight in a giving mood.
Wow.
Paulie super chats us. Thank you, Paulie. Says, DB, buy Ruby some dog food and then toss me a hat once they're to spec. LOL. Yeah, I will do that, Paulie. Thank you very much. The Manitoba Ball Hockey Association sends us a super chat as well. Thank you very much, Manitoba Ball Hockey Association. Awesome. I love the 99 cents on top of the $13. That's great. Thank you.
I'm gonna buy a new car with all this money that Darren's gonna have to send me. Fork it over with interest, buddy.
Right? Yeah, I will. One of the plays that really stood out tonight, in addition to the Nick Hallett block, was I'm just pulling it up here. It was the Kenny Lawler catch that was just incredible. Did you get a good look at it on the jumbotron? I know it was on the far side of the field from where your seats are on the east side there.
Yeah, it looked like I mean, he definitely caught the ball and had possession to the ground, but I thought he might have been out of bounds.
Mm-hmm.
But then the Bombers
Watch
were
his left
very
elbow.
caught. Oh, okay, no, then that's a catch.
And then his left hand, it never moves in his left hand. Like
Right. No,
two
that's a good
hands on
catch.
it here, right here. If your left elbow smashes the ground like that, like look how high up in the air he is.
Yeah.
And the left elbow smashes the ground, and it's like, no, it's not moving from my left hand. It's just glued.
And the BC Lions defender's hand is in there. So not only does his elbow smash there, look at the guys trying to pull the man, Kenny Lawler's a special player.
He really, really is a special player. And that's just not some DB. That's CFL All-Star corner Gary Peters.
Gary Peters, yeah.
Doing that. So really, really impressive play there. Kenny Lawler made the absence of Dalton Schoen, I would say, like not quite a non-factor, but it made it incredibly more digestible. You know, he had he had the numbers to prove it tonight. Kenny Lawler had I think he had a game high. Sorry, I lost it here. Kenny Lawler had a game high 83 yards receiving.
Yeah, he was special.
Wrong.
And they kind of
he had a Bombers high 83 yards receiving. Justin McInnes, because of that Hail Mary, he finished with 110.
Oh, okay. Right.
Yeah.
Like I thought it was really important to get Kenny Lawler going because the run game wasn't going. And you know, if you're gonna stack the box, you're gonna have some one-on-one coverage, as I say again. I feel like I say that every it's like my thing. One-on-one coverage if you stack the box. But yeah, they needed one of the receivers to step up because they were shutting down the run there. And then, you know, something's gonna be open downfield. And you know, he either caught a bunch, 83 yards, but he also had that really important pass interference call in the fourth quarter that set the Bombers up deep in BC's territory. So, yeah, he had himself a game, and next week he's going to have to come up big because I think Schoen's done. Like, I think there's no chance he's coming back.
But you don't know that.
I don't know that. That's just what I think. It's just what I think.
I don't
know that.
If I have one problem with Zach Schnitzer, it's that he uses the word done. I don't like that word.
Wasn't I right about Bo Levi Mitchell, my friend?
No, you weren't.
Come on. He is done.
That's not what done means. Oh, by the way, I had Hamilton's quarterback, some of my fantasy teams. You brought me into like a legit preseason draft, entire team, defensive players, everything, CFL Fantasy League. What happened, Schnitzy?
Oh, what happened? Oh, DB squeaked out a win. You know, I bring him in as I bring him in as a ringer, and he just kicks everybody's butt.
Well, that's what a ringer does.
That's what a ringer does. You're a ringer. Yeah,
you know
don't
why
like it
I
when
won that league.
Done.
You know, sure, Dalton Schoen, Tim White. I grabbed those with my first two picks. You guys are all grabbing your quarterbacks. Oh, taking this team, that team. Fine, I'll take Hamilton's quarterbacks. Taylor Powell. Thank you.
Of course, you took Hamilton.
Well, I mean, I was like, it was between them and Calgary, I think. Or
of course, you took Hamilton. You love Hamilton.
It was literally between Hamilton and Calgary. I took Hamilton. It was the right choice. But the reason I won that league was Tyrese Beverett and Adarius Pickett. Who? Well, Pickett led the league in defensive plays. Tyrese Beverett, we'll see him at the Grey Cup playing strong side linebacker, or I think he's actually their weak side linebacker now for the Montreal Alouettes. Good players, man. I'm really looking like I can't wait to watch the Argos Alouettes game again and get a good look at that defense, because to me, while I expect Winnipeg's defense to beat Montreal's offense. If Montreal's defense can beat Winnipeg's offense, then I think it'll be a football game. But the reality is, it's going to take something. It's going to take something to knock off the Blue Bombers in the 110th Grey Cup.
Well, and the Bombers, they had Alouette's number this year. On the road, they beat them by 2 scores, 17-13, and then I believe they beat them at home 47-17, and that was with
Mhm.
a couple pick sixes by the Alouettes. I think it was 2 pick sixes. One was Dequoy. By the way, how great is Dequoy? Like, how cool is it? Like, we think about Andrew Harris and Nick Dembski and Brady Oliveira, like Oak Park boys, Winnipeg boys playing for the hometown team. What must it be like for Alouettes fans and Marc-Antoine Dequoy, like a francophone player who plays for the Alouettes? I think that's super cool. And he's got the flow, he's got the hair going, he's
I just
got
love
like the 100
Canadians
yard
making
pick
plays like
six.
that. It's awesome.
Yeah, he's Canadian, he's francophone, French speaking.
Yep.
I love that. That's a super cool story. I'm sure TSN will pick up on that.
I'm just getting a note here from the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, and while it's not open for fans, the media is invited for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. I will rephrase, for the West Division champion Winnipeg Blue Bombers departure from Winnipeg on Monday afternoon. Media availability with Zach Collaros, Brandon Alexander, and head coach Mike O'Shea will happen in Hamilton around 6:30 p.m. The Jets play in Winnipeg on Tuesday night. I'm flying to Hamilton on Wednesday, 5 a.m. Oh, yes.
Ooh.
That's why I'm already rubbing my eyes. If you guys caught that a few minutes ago, I'm taking the red eye to Hamilton on Wednesday to be there for like the first day of like real practices and all that sort of stuff. The head coaches will have their annual pre-Grey Cup coaches conference on Tuesday. Randy Ambrosi will give his state of the league on Tuesday. He will give his fan state of the league on Friday. Thursday is media day. So that's when they have each team has their media breakfast where it's kind of a free-for-all, wide open opportunity for us to kind of mingle amongst the players and the coaches and talk to everybody. Practice will be every day. One of those practices will be closed to the public and closed to the media, but media availability every day. I think the quarterbacks are not available on Friday. Saturday will be walkthrough, and then Sunday will be kickoff. Green Day doing the halftime show. Carrie Underwood and a whole bunch of other really, really good musical acts. But Carrie Underwood headlining the Grey Cup Festival musical lineup, which is awesome. And then Bombers and Alouettes on Sunday night. Bonfire Sports will be there the whole time. I'm gonna be everywhere for you
Sizzling.
guys. Everywhere.
Sizzling.
Sizzling.
You'll be sizzling. Hey,
Oh yeah.
by the way, I'm seeing on the chat a bunch of people are saying this. Did you know that Chad Kelly did not shake hands after the loss?
I did see that in the chat. I would like to learn more about that.
Yeah. Like shake hands with whom though? Like does a losing quarterback usually shake hands with someone?
Yeah. Yeah.
Do they? Like
You see it in the NFL, you see it in the CFL, the two coaches go meet each other at midfield and the other players, shake hands with one another unless they're, pulled by media to talk to TSN or whatever. But
but
yeah,
do not all the players shake hands? Does the quarterback always shake hands?
the quarterback is kind of the leader of the team in a lot of ways, right? So I think,
Yeah.
Chad Kelly may be disappearing. I can see why people maybe think that is something I don't know. I don't have enough information. I don't have
Yeah.
enough information.
Either. I was curious about that.
Did I fail to say Green Day at halftime?
No, you said Green Day at halftime.
Okay. Have the time of my life.
Very good, DB.
CFL.
You're rounding into Grey Cup form already. Look at you. Look at you.
Somebody mentioned when the Grey Cup is on Sunday, November 19th. Kickoff is at 5 p.m. Central. So if it's at 5 p.m. Central, I'm thinking actual kickoff will be around 5:15, 5:20. The pregame on TSN is going to happen way, way before that. You all out there are going to have the Bonfire pregame, Game Day Winnipeg, with yours truly and Chris Walby well before that. So you're going to watch that. You're going to listen to it on podcast. It'll be on Facebook. It'll be on YouTube. It'll be on Twitter. But YouTube is where you want to watch it. Hit that thumbs up, by the way. Thanks to everybody for mentioning that in the live chat and for smashing, as they're saying, smash that like button. It means a lot. Appreciate that. And post game too we'll have. But yeah, kickoff is set for 5 Central. That'll be 6 in Hamilton. Probably about 15, 20 minutes after that, they'll truly kick the ball off. Yeah.
Can't believe we're going to another Grey Cup, buddy. I just wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Nightmares about BC winning a squeaker.
Well, coming
And
into
they
the
didn't.
season, all that conversation about the Blue Bombers, well, they're getting older, and Zach Collaros, he's 1 hit away, and Brady Oliveira's unproven. He just squeaked into a 1,000-yard season in 2022, right? Just squeaked in there. Last play it was, whatever, to get 1,000 yards. Oh, well, okay, they got Kenny Lawler. Oh, but the O-line's getting old. How much does Stanley got? How much does Hardrick and Neufeld got? Can the young guys step in? Oh, Willie's getting old. Jefferson was hurt so much, right? Winston Rose and Brandon Alexander, Adam Bighill. Can he do what he? Yeah, they can do all what they've always done. And again, I'm giving a game ball tonight to the offensive line. They were my Walby Warrior. They get the game ball from me tonight too, because
No way.
they're the reason Winnipeg won. I mean, the defense for sure, but they're the reason Winnipeg put their foot down early on the BC Lions and didn't look back.
Yeah. Yeah, despite that ridiculous Hail Mary, this game was never. I mean, at one point we were only winning by 5 in the second half, 18-13. The game was really never in doubt, though. In a way, like I was never really scared that they would lose, Darrin. But certainly sitting up a little straighter in my chair or standing up a little taller. Just
Yep.
wondering. Yeah. I don't know
Who are
what
you
I'd
giving your
say.
game balls to, buddy?
Game balls go to the D. For you, it's the offensive line. Me, it's the defense. Sacking Vernon Adams as collectively 9 or maybe 10 sacks tonight is incredible for an elusive running quarterback like Vernon Adams. To sack him that many times was incredible. It means you have to be disciplined in your rush. And I think that they, like I said, they didn't over pursue him. They didn't get overzealous. They were disciplined. They stayed sharp, and they were able to wrap him up. Maybe not the first or second guy, but the third or fourth guy was able to wrap him up. Just incredible to get that many sacks against Vernon Adams. Like you saw what Vernon Adams did last week against Calgary, rushed the ball a number of times, including for 3 scores.
But it was Calgary.
Yeah, I know it's Calgary. I know, but Calgary's got some players. They've got some players. They've got Cam Judge. They've got Mike Rose. They've got some players over there. But yeah, I just thought the defense, the Evan Holm pick to seal it at the end. Demario Houston had a massive interception when BC was driving to make it a closer game. Yeah, Joe Pritchard saying game ball to Richie Hall. The defensive game plan worked wonders. Hey, Joe from Wisconsin, how you doing? But
hey, Joe, good to see you, man.
Yeah.
Can I read this comment
Richie
from?
Hall?
Yep. I gave Richie Hall the game ball last game, right?
Yeah.
Winnipeg's defense, I think, is playing near that level of 2021, where they were, almost record setting. That was the team that didn't allow a touchdown in the fourth quarter all season until like the last game. Leslie, Leslie comments watching live on YouTube. What's going on, Leslie? I wonder what game day in Hamilton will be like. I'm staying in Niagara Falls, but we'll probably be in Hamilton early in the day. Yeah, weather, Mike O'Shea, I famously wrote on the whiteboard years ago. I think it was, it might have been the West Final against the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Remember where they had 5 giveaways in the first half? You remember that?
Yeah, I do. 2021, 6 in total.
It said weather perfect. Wind doesn't matter. You know, I love that. I love that.
That's great.
I mentioned that on a radio hit in Regina this week with my good friend Daniela Potticelli. It was her last show on Harvard Radio out there.
Where's she going?
She's looking at some other opportunities. Yeah, but she's going to be at the Grey Cup too, so it'll be nice to catch up with her there. My old college pal. Wanted to mention a couple of the comments here. John Elliott said, "Don't forget, Lawler didn't suit up until the 5th game. He actually didn't suit up until the 8th game. He missed 7 games to start the season.
Did he miss 7 games?
Yeah, crazy, right? Crazy.
Wow.
Oh gosh, I lost it. Do you remember last season when the Bombers lost the Grey Cup, and I asked you, Schnitzy, would you trade a three-peat Grey Cup for winning 4 or 5?
I remember that well, my friend.
And what did you say?
Said, I think I said I would.
I think you did.
You were right. Did you see this coming, DB, way back?
Yeah. Is this my old friend Kelly Bishop? Sister Social on the 23rd? Whoa. Well, hey, hit up Kelly if you want to get that Bombers prize she's got. I'm pretty sure that's my old friend Kelly Bishop. What's going on, Kelly? Holy cow, I haven't seen you in forever.
How do we get tickets, Kelly? Well,
yeah,
I'd buy a ticket. I love a good social, and I can cut it up on the dance floor, let me tell you.
Oh, I bet you can. I bet you get really salami-shouldered every social. Are you that guy?
Yeah, I'm that guy.
So here's Ryan Friesen, who is bringing it tonight. Way to go, Ryan. I remember last year, Bauming asked Schnitzy, would he trade a Grey Cup loss for 4 in 5? Zach said, yes, he would. And you're 1 Blue Bombers win away from getting what you asked for.
Yeah, they should win it this year. They really should beat the Alouettes. It would be a pretty massive upset if they lost to the Alouettes, I would say.
Yeah.
Just early days here in the Grey Cup week, but yeah.
I just got a text message from Ken Weeb of the Winnipeg Free Press. Ken Weeb of Kenny and Rennie, Sean Reynolds of Sportsnet, are going to do their Jets postgame show right away.
Okay.
And I think they're watching right now. So what's going on, guys? For everybody out there, if you haven't, or if you're interested, Kenny and Rennie, postgame show coming up as the Winnipeg Jets lost to the Dallas Stars tonight. Dilly, Brendan Dillon scored again. He's got 4 goals this season, which I think is just a cool thing. Me and Hammy, Jeff Hamilton, everyone calls him Hammer. I call him Hammy because that's what his OGs do. Him and I were having some good laughs about Brendan Dillon and the season that he's having. But, the
Bruce Jets nearly tied it up. Hey, at the end with the empty net. Oh, they were close. Close.
That is true. I mean, I didn't see the game. I was really glued to the East Final because it was like, okay, when's Toronto going to turn it on?
Yeah.
Pickoff.
Didn't happen.
And then when Toronto scored their first touchdown, Lecter, their Montreal's returner, I called him Hannibal Lecter, eating the hearts of the Argos.
With fava beans and a side of Chianti.
He has a kickoff return touchdown, untouched. He goes untouched. And Byron Archambault, the former Canadian linebacker, now the special teams coordinator for the Montreal Alouettes, was just elated on the sideline. When you're beating a team that won 16 games and they finally find the end zone to get to 10 points or whatever it was, and you're like, now we're going to take this one back to the house. That just takes all the gas out of the tank. It takes all the air out of the tires. Incredible play from Montreal to keep the Toronto Argonauts down.
I was so happy the Argos lost, man.
Yeah.
You know, they didn't play a meaningful game since what, mid-September? I wonder if that's looking bad. I wonder if there's some egg on the face of Ryan Dinwiddie right now for not remember that he didn't start Chad Kelly against the Bombers in our home game. Um, yeah, you got to wonder, is it that smart to keep a guy on the shelf for that long? I don't know, man.
So the debate we were having in the press box before the game, or at least the one question I kind of floated out there was, okay, so the Argos wrapped up the East early and they had that final month of the season. Like all their buys were done by week 11, I think,
Yeah,
which is crazy in a 21-week season. So they use that last month of the season to rest guys and rotate in some backups and some reserve players, give your number twos valuable reps, ensure your depth is secure and safe and that sort of thing. What I see is, like I mentioned, Ryan Dinwiddie, and I really like Ryan Dinwiddie, not because he was a CFL Coach of the Year last year, or sorry, Winnipeg. Mike O'Shea was last year, yeah,
yeah,
but Dinwiddie will probably win it this year.
they'll win it this year.
He'll
Yeah,
go up against Mike O'Shea. But and I really like Ryan Dinwiddie. He's a great guy. I've had a couple really good conversations with him. The reality is he is an inexperienced coach, and some people, other media members are like, "What do you mean he's inexperienced? He won a Grey Cup last year. He's been a head coach for a few years now." He's only been a head coach for a few years now, and managing the mind, managing the mentality, the collective mentality of a team takes a lot of experience and a lot of insight and knowledge that only comes with decades in pro football locker rooms, right? And on the football field. And Ryan Dinwiddie has a lot of experience, but he has not been the head coach, the decision maker for a very, very long time. And when you have to manage something like that, a month of, okay, we're going to rest this guy and we're going to rotate these guys in, and this week versus next week, and we'll change it up. I think it was something that maybe bit the Argos a little bit because, he is, that's a tough thing to do to manage that collective
absolutely.
mentality
Well
of your
said.
team. Yeah.
Well said, buddy. You're totally right. Like how do you keep a team sharp? I don't think most media members had ever even seen a team clinch that early when they
No.
beat Montreal that third time in a row in mid-September. And yeah, how do you keep a team sharp? And still they managed to go 16-2. But yeah, Winnipeg Gordo's saying no 16-2 team has ever won the cup. Yeah, it's kind of it's like that 2-goal lead in the NHL, right? Like you never want
Well,
to have
it's
that
like the
2-goal
Boston
lead.
Bruins last year, breaking a record and then losing in the
Yeah,
first round. And
yeah.
then Tampa, I think, when they won the President's Trophy a few years ago, I could be wrong with this, but I believe they set some sort of record of like the biggest margin between winning the President's Trophy and the next team. Um,
Right, and then
you
they
know,
lost to Columbus in 4 straight or something,
yeah.
right?
Then the New England Patriots have an undefeated season and they
Yeah.
lose in the Super Bowl to David Tyree and the helmet
Ah, the
catch.
helmet catch.
Yes, of course. But yeah, I just mean it doesn't seem to matter. Doesn't seem to matter. How good you are in the regular season. It's what you do when it matters, and
Yeah.
that's the playoffs.
I wonder if you lose a bit of an edge when you are like the regular season champion, right? Does it kind of go to your head? I don't know. I people forget that the Argos and the Alouettes, like yes, the Argos beat them. Sorry, that's a good one. Chris Red Wing, if you're listening on podcast later, comments of the night here. Riders started to rest players in September as well.
Well done, Ryan. Or well,
But
well done, Mr. Red Wing.
the Argos beat the Alouettes all 3 times this year. But the game where the Argos clinched the East Division in September was a very close game. I think it came down to a field goal or something. Like it was or a last minute drive by the Argos. I think it was a really tight game. So
Mm-hmm.
you know, maybe it's not the most surprising, but I think it's pretty shocking the way that the Alouettes beat them. Like, they just dominated them.
Yeah.
And it's like they were reading Chad Kelly's mind and reading the playbook. I mean, they just hammered them. It was something I've rarely seen anything like it.
Just reading some of the comments tonight, I wanted to pull this up. Just reminded me of it. I sent out a tweet when the Alouettes were in pretty strong control of the East Final, and it was looking like they were going to beat the Argos. I tweeted, the 110th Grey Cup kicks off in roughly 90 minutes at IG Field. And
Exactly.
yeah, I mean, did I get ratioed? Not quite. Not quite. More likes and retweets combined, definitely, than replies. But some people, pardon the ad, some people took me seriously.
Easy now, Eddie Steele.
Yeah. Oh, maybe premature, Mr. Bauming. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Get some eyebrows. Brain cramp? No, it wasn't a brain cramp. Seriously? No, not seriously. Yeah, there's some others that contain offensive content that I won't bring up there. But I was just trying to have some fun, right? Because nobody expected the Montreal Alouettes to upset the Argos. Some people expected BC to knock off a 5-point favorite Winnipeg Blue Bombers in the West Final. But in the end, I think, like you said earlier, Schnitzy, I think it's a salient point to kind of wrap the show with. Montreal is a much more beatable team, a more digestible opponent for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. And while the Bombers themselves, in a football preparation standpoint, their confidence comes from their preparation. They will treat Montreal exactly like they would have treated Toronto or BC or Calgary or Ottawa or Montreal or Hamilton or whoever. They're going to treat them the same way, and they're going to just do everything they can and go to work to capture a 12th Grey Cup for this Blue Bombers franchise. Am I wrong? Do they have 12?
I think they'd be going for 13.
They're going for 13.
Yeah.
A 13th Grey Cup. Yeah, that's right. 11 was 2019, that first one. That's right.
Yeah. It's going to be a fun week, DB. I look forward to seeing all the content on Bonfire Sports, the podcast, the YouTube shorts, you and Walby, maybe we'll do a hit. And you connecting with all your media buddies. I bet you we'll see a little bit of Danny Austin, maybe some Farhan Lalji, Dave Naylor, all your boys, and then maybe some ladies too. Maybe Daniela Ponticelli. We'll see. We'll see. Should be
Christina
fun.
Constable, good friend of mine.
Oh, yeah.
Been meaning to have her on the channel for a while now, but this is the beautiful thing about Grey Cup. It's a bit of a double-edged sword. Most people will be there, but not everyone will be there. I know Danny Austin isn't able to go out of Calgary, but there will be a lot of other people there. So, maybe I'll even get Danny on the line and chat with him. But we're going to have lots of fun content here on the channel. So, be sure to keep it locked. I'm going to podcast absolutely everything I can. So if you're a podcast listener, thank you. Leave a review. Appreciate that. If you're watching on YouTube or Facebook, hit that thumbs up, like the video. Well over 100 of you have already. The thumbs down we got today, that's the second of the season. I have a feeling it's the jerk that was absolutely slandering people like a dummy that I banned from the live chat tonight. I have a feeling that individual probably gave us the thumbs down, but give us a thumbs up, subscribe, comment. If you're watching afterwards, not watching live, you can still comment. I read them all and I'll respond to you if you got questions. And I read the ones like, a lot of people have stories they want to share about Chris Walby. I share those with Chris and he often reads them too. I know he's watching the post-game show here right now. He's just out of the live chat. He prefers to chat in person, but YouTube shorts. It's not just going to be live streams. So check out the YouTube shorts and the video column on the Bonfire Sports YouTube page. It'll be on Facebook. I'll try to get some stuff up on Instagram. It's, we're going to hustle. We're going to try to work almost as hard as the Winnipeg Blue Bombers will ahead of the 110th Grey Cup.
Darrin, last thing for me, regardless of whether the Bombers win next week, they've now made it to 4 straight Grey Cups. Are they a dynasty just getting to 4 straight Grey Cups? It's a question I have on my mind, and I see it in the chat as well.
Yeah, but you know what? It's
John
about
Elliott.
winning. It's about winning.
Yeah.
And,
Okay.
I could ask every player and coach on the Blue Bombers. They don't care. They just want to win. They just want to, like, Mike O'Shea said over and over again this week, and even after the game to Claire Hanna on TSN. They've earned another week with their teammates, and a win will make the week afterwards it'll be a fun one. So that's what they're gonna go do. Like Sniz says here, watching live on YouTube, want to know this week. That's all it is. Going 1-0.
Not SNES, not the Super Nintendo Entertainment System. SNES.
No, not SNES. SNIS.
SNES.
I have a feeling
SNES,
that's
best video game system ever.
Yeah, I think
That's
I know
where I
who
stopped
SNIS is.
developing. Do
I
you?
think I know who SNIS is. I'm not sure. Say that 5 times fast. Yeah.
SNIS.
But thank you everybody out there. We would be nothing without you, the Firestarters. And tell your friends. Grab this link, send it, text it to your cousin, send it to your friends. Let them know this is where they're going to get consistent quality Blue Bombers and Grey Cup content all this week going into the 110th championship here in Canada. Final thoughts, Schnitzy? What do you got?
I'm just jacked, buddy. Four straight Grey Cups. We got a Grey Cup coming up again for the Bombers. I mean, my heart is pumping blue and gold blood all day and all night, as you know. I read the forums, I rewatch the games, I listen to our shows again, I listen to you and Walby and all of the content. Eddie Tate does great stuff on bluebombers.com. They used to call him Young Eddie. They still sometimes call him Young Eddie, which is awesome. But I'm just stoked beyond belief, and hopefully we can connect this week. And I look forward to seeing all your stuff, buddy. What a crowd, though! What a crowd tonight! Look at you. You're already getting your thumbnails set up, eh?
Well, this is from the CFL, but that's your 110th Grey Cup matchup. Zach Collaros and your Winnipeg Blue Bombers against Cody Fajardo, making his first Grey Cup appearance, and the Montreal Alouettes.
Now, I am a Bomber fan, so my final thought is going to be something to throw shade at those in Rider Nation, but how much are they must be hurting seeing Cody Fajardo and Jason Moss, who were run out of town last year after they lost like the last 6 or 7 games of their season, and missed the playoffs. And now they do, the Riders do the same thing, but Fajardo and Moss, who were run out of town, unceremoniously dumped by the team, they're now representing the East in the Grey Cup. How great is that, Bomber fans? Just to know how badly your Rider brethren are feeling right now.
Yeah.
Love it. Just love it.
Steve Smith says, just got home, still unthawing. Well, you're going to feel pretty warm this week. Join us around the bonfire. Let's have a conversation. Yep. The Bonfire Hotline is open. You guys can text all week long. Standard rates apply. It's just like if you're texting your mama. It's the same thing. So whatever you pay to text her, you got a plan or whatever, it's the same thing. You can text the Bonfire Hotline. 816-TIPS. 816-TIPS. 204-816-8477, day or night. Fire it up, and we'll get your thoughts and comments here on the programs, the videos, the podcast, all throughout Grey Cup week. I can't wait, Schnitzy. I can't wait, brother.
Love it. Well, as I always say, people, whether you're a Super Chat fan or not, Sasha, I'm looking at you. and all our super chat friends, but you don't have to be a super chat friend. You can just be a friend. Sayonara, everybody. We'll see you at Grey Cup.
Yes. Kenny and Rennie coming up at 10:30. Go check them out. Have a good one, everybody.
Sweet.